Hello, everybody. So, as an automotive major, I thought it would be prudent to discuss with you the rise of electric vehicles in America. Um, so, I'm sure that if you looked out your window, somewhere out there you would see a car or a truck powered by an internal combustion engine. These have become a staple of American life from motorsports, um, the fossil fuel industry, the oil industry, to be more specific, hobby mechanics, shop technicians, all across the board. The internal combustion engine has powered America for over 100 years. However, the next 20 years will see the phasing out of this power plant that has run America for so long for electric and hybrid power. So, electric cars are about to take America in a very big way. The only way to prepare for this, as I see it, is to arm yourself with knowledge. So, what we're going to discuss today are the statistics and facts behind the electric car movement and really how it's going to begin to take over the norm in America. We're going to talk about what that means for the consumer, or the hobby mechanic, the shop technician, and maybe motorsports. And then finally, I'm going to discuss simple ways to prepare for this big change. So, the switch. Everybody wants to know what evidence we have to support that the electric vehicle is going to take over. I know in the past, 50 years ago, people believed that in 2020 we would have flying cars and things like that. And it might be a stretch to say that in 10 years there's only going to be electric vehicles, but really the evidence just keeps on pointing towards that through federal regulations, tax write-offs towards people who own electric vehicles and use them. So for sure, we're going to see this change. In fact, even today, there are thousands, in fact millions of electric vehicles on the road in America alone. There are 1.3 million EVs on the road in September of 2019. Tesla, upon the release of their Model 3, took over 276,000 pre-orders. What that means in comparison to the normal auto industry is that most normal sedans, like the Nissan Altima or Toyota Corolla, only sell around 300,000 during their entire run. Now, the Tesla took 276,000 pre-orders for the car. That is before it has even released. They have already sold almost more than your average sedan would sell in its lifetime. So I think with attention like that, electric vehicles are definitely here to stay. Many manufacturers even have already begun to phase out their production and design of gas and diesel engines for electric and hybrid production. So, like Ford and Honda are planning on offering electric and hybrid options for their entire line of vehicles by 2021. Ford, in fact, has already decided to cut production and design entirely for small cars and crossovers, just so they can divert those funds to electric vehicle development. Toyota has offered the Prius option since 1990. So these cars are definitely here to stay. So what does this mean for the consumer? The New York Times stated that electric cars would become the norm by 2030, and I believe that is definitely going to happen. With the government using even stricter emission standards on normal gas engines, with inspections, expensive upkeep options to keep vehicles clean while operating, and even offering tax write-offs towards people who own electric and hybrid vehicles. The government is definitely pushing for the switch, which may or may not be a bad thing, considering your stance on the environment and green options and things like that. The change will come when the oil industry is not required as much to operate vehicles. We'll definitely see a drop in the oil industry that would cause the loss of jobs and things like that. And the auto industry as well will take a massive change. Eventually, fuel-burning vehicles will be considered obsolete and maybe even become illegal to operate in America. I know California has extremely strict emissions regulations on their vehicles, and their entire government system has switched to using electric vehicles for their staff cars and things of that nature. So America is already beginning to lean towards this change. What can we do to prepare? Definitely keep up with environmental and industrial changes in the auto industry. Keep up with the political changes as well. Learn as much as we can about electric vehicles, their development, and laws surrounding them. If you're like me, and you aren't ready to let go of your gas-operated vehicle, or your diesel engine, or project cars, and things of that nature, the answer is simple. With more people buying electric vehicles, the older gas-operated technology will become cheaper. So I would definitely purchase a simple, older automobile, preferably before 1986, that is not reliant on computers and is mostly mechanically operated without the assistance of complicated electronics. Find something that is simple, reliable, cheap to work on with abundant parts, and learn as much as you can about its operation and keep it alive. So the big picture. I hope that by listening to my speech, you now understand the switch that is going to happen in America, what it means to you, and how you can prepare for it. Because in a very short time, the auto industry will make a massive leap in the direction of alternative energy, and whether you agree with it or not, we're all going to have to prepare, and the best way to do that is through knowledge. Thank you.